Disclaimer. The following video is a theoretical strategy guide for a video game called Real Life. Any resemblance to actual crimes, financial fraud, or the specific Ponzi scheme currently being investigated by the SEC involving a man named Gary is purely coincidental. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a guy with a microphone and a questionable moral compass. Do not attempt this at home. Why work at a 9-to-5 for 40 years to retire with a Honda Civic and chronic back pain when you could theoretically optimize your life path by completely ignoring the law? We're analyzing this homeless to millionaire category, but we're disabling the ethics and legality settings to achieve true completion. This is the criminal speedrun. We're going from a net worth of $0 to $1 million using only the most high-stakes methods available. The resource grind. You spawn in with 0 items, no inventory, no currency, the map is hostile. Most players, let's call them law-abiding citizens, start the slow grind of entry-level employment. How did we get here? A bunch of questionable choices. We don't have to get into that. We're here to make money. But this is a speedrun. We don't have time for the barista side quest. We need immediate liquidity. The current meta for the early game is resource harvesting. Specifically, urban mining. Your first objective is copper. It's inside the walls of abandoned buildings. It's inside street lights. And if you're brave enough, it's inside live substations. Is it dangerous? Yes. Is the electrocution risk high? Absolutely. But the RNG on copper prices is favorable right now. Your strategy here is the Sawzall skip. By acquiring a battery-operated reciprocating saw, preferably stolen from a Home Depot display model to keep costs at 0, you unlock the ability to harvest catalytic converters. Now, target selection is key. You're looking for the Prius. The Prius is the loot box of the automotive world. It contains high concentrations of palladium and platinum. You aren't stealing the car, you're simply liberating rare earth metals from their carbon emissions prisons. A standard run involves sliding under the chassis at 3 a.m. The noise will wake the neighborhood, but if your dexterity stat is high enough, you're gone in 45 seconds. Let's look at the math. A stolen cat converter fetches maybe 200 or 300 on the black market. You need about 20 of these to hit your first milestone. This is the grind phase. It's repetitive, it's dirty, and it smells like exhaust fumes and desperation. But if you combine this with a secondary income stream, inventory reallocation, also known as high-volume shoplifting, you aren't taking candy bars, you're taking laundry detergent and baby formula. These are high-value liquid assets on the street. You're essentially running a micro-logistics company where acquisition cost is 0 and the profit margin is 100%. By the end of week 2, if you haven't been tackled by a loss prevention officer named Gary, you should have liquidated enough scrap metal and Tide Pods to amass $5,000. This is seed money. You're no longer a hobo, you're an entrepreneur of the underground. You've successfully completed the tutorial, but staying in this zone is dangerous. The police aggro increases the longer you stay in the Bronze Age. We need to tech up immediately. Cyber escalation. Congratulations, you have $5,000. Most people would buy a used Corolla. You're buying a high-end laptop and a burner connection to the dark web. Welcome to the digital age. Physical crime is high risk. You have to be there. You have to run. Digital crime? You can do that in your underwear from a Starbucks Wi-Fi connection 3 towns over. We're now entering the ransomware strat. You don't need to be a coding genius, you just need to be willing to rent a botnet. We're skipping the learn to code tutorial and buying prepackaged malware kits. Your target? Small to mid-sized municipalities. Why? Because the IT budget of a small town in Ohio is roughly $14 in a ham sandwich. Their security is non-existent. You deploy a phishing campaign. The email subject line is urgent, cat pictures. It has a 99% click rate among administrative assistants named Linda. Once Linda clicks the link, you encrypt their entire database. Parking tickets, court records, the mayor's schedule, all gone. You demand a ransom, not in dollars, but in Bitcoin. This is crucial for the laundering phase later. You ask for $50,000. To the town council, this is a panic-inducing emergency. To you, it's a Tuesday. You repeat this process twice. Simultaneously, we execute the GPU parasite maneuver. You compromise the servers of a local university. Why pay electricity to mine crypto when the state taxpayers can pay for it? You install silent miners on every computer in the computer science lab. You're now siphoning computational power to generate Ethereum while you sleep. But we aren't done. You know the saying that rich people have 7 streams of income? Well, we're gonna do the same thing, baby. We need to diversify. You purchase a database of credit card numbers, fulls as they call them in the industry. You don't use them. That's low level. You use them to buy high resale electronics to drop shipping addresses. You're essentially Amazon, but you don't pay for the inventory, and your customer service is terrible. By the time the fraud departments catch up, you've churned through 50 grand in merchandise and collected 2 sizable ransom payments. You're now sitting on $100,000 in mixed crypto assets. You've ascended from a street rat to a digital ghost. But here's the problem. Digital money is not real money until you can spend it. And to make the big jump, we need to return to the physical world, but with style. The grand larceny pivot. You have 100K. You can stop here. But we aren't playing for 6 figures. We're playing for the 2 comma club. The digital heat's getting too hot. The FBI is asking why the city of Dayton, Ohio is paying Bitcoin to a wallet address associated with anime profile pictures. It's time to pivot to asset-heavy operations. We're talking about the luxury car export ring. This is not hot wiring a Civic. This is gone in 60 seconds, but with more signal jammers and less Nicolas Cage. You recruit a small team, NPCs essentially. You pay them in excitement and a small cut. You invest your capital into relay attack devices. These gadgets extend the signal from a key fob inside a rich person's house to a car in the driveway. The car thinks the owner is standing next to it. It unlocks, it starts, you drive away without breaking a single window. But where do you take a stolen G-Wagon? You can't sell it on Craigslist. You need the docks. This is where the bribe mechanic comes into play. You find a dock worker who hates his boss and loves cash. You pay him to look the other way while you load 3 stolen Range Rovers into a shipping container labeled used mattresses. These cars are going to unsuspecting buyers in specialized overseas markets who don't ask questions about VIN numbers. Each container yields a net profit of roughly $80,000 after expenses. You run this loop 4 times. It requires precision. You have to dodge the port authority, the police, and rival gangs who also want to export used mattresses. You're operating on a razor's edge. During this time, you also dabble in synthetic identity fraud. You create a fake person. Let's call him Charles P. Moneybags. Chuck has a perfect credit score because you manipulated the reporting bureaus using your previous cyber skills. He takes out business loans, he buys heavy construction equipment on credit, and you sell the excavators for cash to a guy who asks no questions. Charles then defaults and vanishes because he never even existed. You're now sitting at $400,000. You're driving a stolen car you haven't shipped yet. You're wearing a Rolex that you just bought with a loan you won't pay back. You are living the American dream, provided the American dream includes a pending RICO indictment. But we're hitting a ceiling. Who would have guessed grinding GTA car import-export missions was just as slow IRL as it is in-game? We need one big score to double up. We need the vault. The vault cracker. This is it. The mid-game slump is over. We need to double our net worth in a single night. We're not robbing a bank. Banks have die packs and silent alarms. Too much RNG. We're robbing a private high-stakes poker game run by the local mob. Why the mob? Because they can't call the police. It's the perfect crime. You're stealing stolen money. It's a double negative, which in the eyes of the speedrun community makes it morally neutral. Probably. You use your 400k bankroll to buy your way into the game. This is the Trojan horse strat. You aren't breaking in, you're invited. You wear a suit, you look the part, you play a few hands, lose some money intentionally to lower the guard, you are the fish. But outside, your team, the same guys who helped with the cars, hopefully sober this time, are preparing the extraction. At 2 a.m., you signal the breach. They cut the power, you have night vision contacts, they have confusion. In the chaos, you aren't grabbing the chips. Chips are useless. You're grabbing the box. The cash box where the buy-ins are kept. This requires the smoke bomb glitch. You deploy industrial-grade smoke canisters. The room is chaotic. You grab the bag, smash a window, and zipline to the adjacent building. Is it realistic? No. Is it something that happens in movies? Yes. And since we're speedrunning life, we rely on movie logic. You hit the ground. The getaway driver is waiting. It's a Tesla on autopilot because you can't trust human error. You merge onto the highway. You just liberated $400,000 in untraceable cash. Your net worth is now $800,000. You're sweaty. Your heart rate is 180. And you've angered a violent criminal organization. This leads us to the most difficult part of the run. Most speedrunners fail here because they start spending. No. You have 80% completion. The final boss is not the police. The final boss is the IRS. You have 800k in dirty cash and crypto. You need to clean it, and you need that final 200k to hit the million mark. It's time for a Mastermind exit. You are sitting on $800,000 of illegal assets. If you buy a mansion, you go to jail. If you buy a Lambo, you go to jail. If you deposit it in a bank, believe it or not, jail. We need to launder this money and generate the final 200k through investment fraud. We set up a shell company. Let's call it Prestige Worldwide Consulting. We create a fake crypto token on the pump.fun. Let's call it Scamcoin. You use your botnet from Chapter 2 to hype this coin on Twitter. You create artificial volume. You pump the price. This is the rug pull mechanic. You get thousands of people to invest real money into your fake project. The value skyrockets. You take your 800K of dirty money and you invest it into your own coin, mixing it with the public's money. Then at the peak, you sell everything. The public loses their investment, you withdraw the liquidity. You've now turned your 800K of dirty money and other people's money into $1 million of capital gains from a lucky crypto trade. It is technically taxable, but it looks legitimate on paper. You pay the capital gains tax. Yes, you pay the tax. As the Joker said, "I'm crazy enough to take on Batman, but the IRS? No thank you." Net worth, $1 million. Mission accomplished. But you have heat. The mob, the FBI, the local police, and angry crypto investors are all looking for you. You cannot enjoy the money here. You need the death skip. You travel to a non-extradition country with a nice beach. Belize is lovely at this time of year. You rent a jet ski, you take it out during a storm, you have the jet ski floating with a life vest. You swim to a waiting boat that takes you to a new identity. The news reports your tragic disappearance. The case is closed. You're now sitting on a beach, sipping a drink with a little umbrella in it, checking your offshore bank account. You've speedrun your life from homelessness to millionaire status in under 18 months. You've committed 47 felonies. You have no friends, no family, and you can never return to the United States. But hey, look at that bank balance. GG. If you've enjoyed this breakdown on how to ruin your life for profit, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm, and quite frankly, I need the ad revenue to pay my legal fees for researching this video. Click the bell or I'll send the Bronze Age Bandit to your house to harvest your copper pipes.